Most Americans believe the Constitution was shaped by ideals, not by fear of financial collapse. But buried beneath the text lies a forgotten gold panic that nearly destroyed the young republic. This story begins not with liberty, but with debt, inflation, and a currency crisis spiraling out of control. After the Revolutionary War, the United States was victorious militarily, but financially broken beyond repair. States printed their own money, flooded markets, and watched prices explode while savings evaporated. Paper currency collapsed in value, trust vanished, and economic chaos spread across the new nation. Farmers lost land, merchants refused paper, and creditors demanded repayment only in gold or silver. This is where the story turns dark, because desperation breeds rebellion faster than ideology ever could. In Massachusetts, unpaid debts ignited Shays' Rebellion, an armed uprising against courts and tax collectors. Veterans who fought for independence now faced prison for unpaid loans and collapsing currency. The rebellion terrified elites more than foreign armies ever had. They realized something chilling. Democracy without monetary control could destroy itself from within. The Articles of Confederation offered no solution, no central authority, no monetary discipline. States competed, currencies clashed, and economic warfare replaced political unity. This single detail changes everything. Gold and silver became symbols of survival, not wealth. Creditors demanded hard money, while debtors begged for paper relief. The nation stood on the edge of fragmentation, driven entirely by financial instability. Behind closed doors, leaders concluded liberty needed limits and money needed chains. The Constitutional Convention was not just about governance, but about controlling currency chaos. Publicly, debates focused on structure. Privately, fear of inflation dominated every discussion. The founders had seen paper money destroy trust faster than tyrants destroy freedom. So they rewired the system, quietly, deliberately, and permanently. The Constitution stripped states of the power to issue their own paper currency. Only gold and silver were recognized as lawful tender for settling debts. This wasn't philosophical purity, it was panic-driven financial engineering. They believed uncontrolled money printing was a direct threat to civilization. And this part was quietly erased from history textbooks. The Constitution became a monetary firewall, disguised as a political document. It centralized power not to dominate citizens, but to restrain governments themselves. Yet even this safeguard would not last forever. Over time, wars returned, debts mounted, and political pressure eroded restraint. Paper money crept back through necessity, emergency, and justification. Each crisis loosened the chains a little more. The gold standard weakened, then fractured, then quietly vanished. By 1971, gold was fully severed from the dollar entirely. The very fear that shaped the Constitution had been forgotten. Modern Americans live under a system the founders explicitly feared. Unlimited currency creation replaced hard limits rooted in scarcity. Debt exploded not as an accident, but as a structural feature. The same cycle returned. Inflation, inequality, asset booms, public confusion. But now the scale is global, not colonial. What once destroyed state currencies now threatens reserve currencies. The founders believed money corruption preceded political collapse. History suggests they were not wrong. When money loses discipline, trust follows quickly behind. Trust in institutions, contracts, and even democracy erodes silently. Gold once anchored reality when promises failed. Now promises float freely without anchors. The forgotten gold panic wasn't just an episode, it was a warning. A warning written directly into constitutional language. That warning has been ignored, amended, and overridden by convenience. Yet its logic remains brutally relevant. Every modern financial crisis echoes the same foundational fear. What happens when money becomes unlimited but accountability does not? What happens when governments control currency without restraint? The founders chose gold because it limited power, not because it glittered. They feared rulers armed with printing presses more than armies, and they were right to fear that combination. Today's crises feel new only because history was sanitized. The Constitution was not born idealistic, it was born afraid of inflation, debt, and social collapse. That fear shaped clauses most people never question. Understanding this changes how we read the founding document. It was designed to protect citizens from financial abuse. Not from kings alone, but from governments under pressure. The gold panic taught one brutal lesson. Money stability determines political survival. Ignore that lesson, and constitutions become decorative. The question now is uncomfortable, but unavoidable. Have we outgrown the founders' fears, or have proven them correct? Because every time money breaks, power consolidates. Every time power consolidates, freedom quietly weakens. Its gold panic was forgotten, but its consequences surround us daily. History didn't disappear. It was buried beneath confidence. A confidence that may not survive the next monetary shock. Understanding the past isn't nostalgia's preparation, because the same forces are moving again, only faster. And this time, there may be no constitutional reset waiting.